Creamy vanilla, leather, lemongrass, lime, oud. That's exactly what you're gonna get in Muskalero by Jensen Fragrances. In today's Cephalobon contributor video, I'm gonna be telling you all about this brand new release. I'm gonna tell you what I get from it as far as the notes, performance, longevity comparisons. I'm also gonna let you in on a very special giveaway opportunity, so make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin today's episode and I give you my thoughts on Muskalero by Jensen Fragrances, this warm, earthy, woodsy, green, bright, citrusy, lemongrass, lime type of a fragrance, very complex note breakdown, but it's very enduring and very long lasting as well. I want to start the video off first by saying that if you're a fan of fragrance related content, and of course, if you love smelling your best, hit subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. So look at this note breakdown. You have Mexican lime, lemongrass, pink peppercorn, Sichuan pepper, rose, mimosa, immortelle. So you do have some floral ingredients in there as well. Texas cedarwood, leather, creamy vanilla, sandalwood, and oud. Sounds amazing. I'm gonna talk to you about the smell. If you wanna participate in the giveaway, all you have to do is shoot on over to cephalobon.com. It's gonna be the first link down below in the description box. And after you've become a registered reader, just drop a meaningful comment on the article. It is a simple process. Just make sure you check back on over to the article on the date that's specified in the article. This way you know that that's the day when the winner is gonna be announced. If you happen to be the lucky winner, you certainly don't wanna miss the opportunity to claim the prize. So, this fragrance is very complex, a lot of immortelle and lime and oud and leather and patchouli and cedar. So it goes in a few different directions. I'm gonna break down the smell for you as best as I can in just a little while. Let's start things off with a quick look at the presentation first. Now, right in the opening of this fragrance, you are definitely going to get that explosion of citrus fruits. You're gonna get the Mexican lime, you're gonna get the lemongrass, and it does open up very bright, very citrusy. Now, a lot of citrus fragrances don't last as far as the citrus is concerned. And the reason I say that is because citrus notes are comprised of a very volatile nature, smaller molecular structure, higher volatility. So maybe at best, they might last 15-20 minutes and they're gone. For whatever reason, the citrus components in this fragrance last a long time. I'm personally very impressed by this fragrance. Right in the opening, the citrus notes do last, but this is not a citrus fragrance. It is not, right? I wouldn't classify it as such. There's so much else happening in here, and as you can tell, as far as the structural integrity of the pyramid is concerned, there's a lot happening in the heart and in the base. And so this fragrance, as it dries down, of course you get the immortelle, which some people compare to the smell of maple syrup. I don't get that from this fragrance. The other floral ingredient, of course, is the rose and the mimosa. Personally, I don't get a whole lot of rose. I do get something floral happening in here, but it's hard to distinguish whether it's this or that. You just kind of get something very clean, very floral, something that creates dimension in the fragrance. Now, as it starts to dry down in the base, the vanilla, the sandalwood, the leather, and yes, you do have this creaminess underneath it all, and that's always been a very nice pairing. Citrus and vanilla, lime and vanilla, even bergamot and vanilla. It's always worked really well. Sometimes people like to embellish that sweetness by adding caramel or whatever. So here we go in a bit of a different direction, right? With the inclusion of agarwood and cedarwood, and you do get some of those darker components in here, sandalwood as well. I would imagine the sandalwood probably contributes to a little bit of that creaminess. It's not entirely the vanilla making it seem that way, but this one is a bit spicy, a bit peppery. It opens up with a lot of citrus. The citrus is quite enduring. I would say 45 minutes to an hour. More so the lemongrass than the Mexican lime, I think, just because the lemongrass in and of itself can have some floral tendencies, but then it dries down to that cedar, sandalwood, and oud combination. And this one is a really interesting fragrance. Now this one is very dark, right? So this is a bit more on the rough and tumble side of things. Despite the citrus, a lot of times people think, oh, there's a lot of citrus. It might be a fresh complement getting DNA. Not necessarily. Now, of course, Can you get compliments with this one? Absolutely, right? It all depends on how you carry yourself, how social you are, how much you put yourself out there, your demeanor, your level of friendliness, so on and so forth. But what I'm trying to say is that this is no aquatic, fresh, citrusy, ozonic fragrance, right? It's no Acqua di Gio or Bleu de Chanel. This is in a league of its own as far as the compositional nature is concerned, and it's much heavier, right? So all of those spices, all of those woods, they're gonna come through smelling quite strong. And I think, this is the type of fragrance that just a couple of sprays goes a very long way. And you can tell that the raw materials being used in here, they're gonna transport you to nature. As soon as you smell it, you're gonna be like, yep, it really feels like I'm in a forest, or I have the spices right in front of me and I'm smelling them off my plate. I mean, it has that organic, natural component to it that I think is gonna be a big selling point for this brand. I also did a video on Clove of Old, and even that is a very natural smelling fragrance. And so I'm excited to see what Jensen Fragrances puts out, because so far everything that I've tried has been really natural smelling, really high quality. And I encourage you to try to get a sample if it's possible at all. If I find any retailers, I'm gonna link them down below for your convenience. This is not a sponsored video and I'm not getting paid anything. But if I do find something online where I feel like, oh, okay, this is an avenue through which you can sample the fragrance, get to know it a little bit better, certainly I'm gonna put it on your radar, so to speak. But check it out, Muskalero. I think this is an awesome fragrance, and especially if you're looking for something on the heavier side of things, something that stands out, unique, and something that is appropriate for the fall and winter, this is a solid option. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, it is certainly a unique fragrance. I really haven't encountered anything like this before. The overall smell, like I said, it's not your typical fresh aquatic fragrance. It does possess some weighty properties. It has some heavier attributes about it. So please try it for yourself. I never recommend blind buying, but especially when we're talking about some heavier fragrances, especially if it's a brand like Amouage or something, I would say do not blind buy. Try it on your skin first. Longevity, 10+ hours. Projection beyond an arm's length for like an hour and a half. Very long lasting, really good performance. Versatility. So it's a bit masculine leaning, fall and winter, mostly winter, I would say. You can dress this one up or dress it down, and I think it's going to appeal to a bit of an older demographic, just because if you are more experienced in dealing with niche and indie perfumes, I think this is going to be more your style. So I would say a bit of an older demographic. And as far as the presentation is concerned, I like the frosted glass and I like the plaque here on the front, but very simple presentation as far as the box is concerned. My final verdict on this fragrance is it's a dark, citrusy, spicy, woodsy fragrance with this creamy smoothness and just a touch of sweetness in the dried down, a little bit of vanilla. If any of that sounds interesting to you, please check out Muskalero by Jensen. I'm gonna drop all of the information down below. Thank you so much for joining me. You do have the opportunity to win a bottle. So again, make sure to shoot on over to cephalabon.com, first link down in the description below. And of course, if you took anything of value from this video, make sure to consider, I hope you consider supporting this channel. So make sure to click subscribe, hit the bell, and give this video a thumbs up for the algorithm. It would really mean a lot to me. Thanks again for watching. I love you all, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new episode. Bye.